the show notes up? I've not checked on.
Ain't no
I'm
show
not
notes.
writing show notes
2 races.
because we are going off the hip.
2
It's
races.
for
What
good
you mean
reason.
show notes?
Off the hip for good reason. I feel like this is gonna be a wild show.
Oh,
It's gonna be
God.
a famous.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is former NASCAR driver Bill Lester.
Bob Hockers.
I'm NASCAR driver Natalie Decker.
NASCAR's Chief Hype Officer Mamba Smith.
And you're listening to Victory Lane.
Victory Lane.
Victory Lane.
Victory Lane Vibe.
Let's go.
376, Antron Brown is the top fuel champion.
Just praying for it. There it is. Raja Caruth wins it at Las Vegas. First career win, gets it done.
You stayed in the game, and it was just one step, one punch, one round at a time, and my guys had me a great stop, and we just executed. So there's more to come for sure.
His final time through 3 and 4. He's gonna do it. Bubba Wallace wins at Kansas.
What they gonna say now, baby? Let's go!
He is the man who raises the bar, who raises the stats, who takes things to stratospheric levels, and he's only got 3 corners now. He can see the crowd standing and giving him that round of applause. 8 times we've said it before. Here's a 9th for you. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. What a victory! Hamilton is back.
Welcome to another episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. It's Jared, it's Art, it's Bonte, it's Peyton, and I'm back. And the reason why I say I'm back because as we recorded last week, and my phone literally died on me. I've never had a phone just like lose its life in front of me. I tried to give it CPR. I tried to give it the what's that machine called? What's the AED? Yeah, I tried to hit the AED up to it. My phone looked at me and said, "Nah, brother, I'm dead." RIP Victory Lane Vibes. We'll be back though. Thank you, iCloud Storage. We'll be back. Hey Peyton, you catch that the end of that Volunteers game Saturday night? I know you were excited.
Jared, it was beautiful. Last 3-point shot put my Volunteers ahead, winning the game against the Crimson Tide. I love to see them sad. I tell you what I had to do. I had to go to home field, get myself another bomber jacket, get as much orange as I can in my life because we're going to be in the Elite Eight. I know it, I feel it, and home field has the best apparel out there for all your college sports needs.
Yeah, you know, speaking of your Volunteers, I had to cop some of that national championship Ohio State merch. But we're not here for collegiate apparel. We're here for racing apparel. Home field is back with their turn 2 of their season of speed, recently dropping a 2025 collection featuring some pieces from City Chevrolet, some Pepsi Jeff Gordon merch, a beautiful Tim Richmond jacket, in addition to some Dale Earnhardt Goodwin stuff. So I just priced my order, some Goodrich merch. Looking very forward to repping that when we go to the track for our first race here at Martinsville, and you can look exactly like us. Go to homefieldapparel.com right now. Use our promo code VLV25 to save 15% off your first order. They also have an app. They make it really easy. And y'all had to know I got a new phone. And using Apple Pay, they actually put my shipping information right here in my phone. So I know exactly when my beautiful stuff is on its way. So once again, go to homefieldapparel.com. Use our promo code VLV25. Save 15% off of your first order. And you can look exactly like we do here in the booth. Now let's get back to me and Bonte arguing. We have a call on the hotline, and we're going to start the show with that because I have to speak about various forms of terrorism that happened in the last 48 hours.
Various
NASCAR stock cars.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see who we got this week. We only have one call this week, so here we go.
Okay, I'm getting freaked out, guys. I missed when Bubba won the Clash 1. I missed that. Okay? I did not get to see, again, just when Bubba won Stage 1. And I also didn't see the poll either. So I'm kind of convinced at this point that if I want Bubba to have a good season, I'm not allowed to watch. Please tell me I'm wrong, because I don't want that to be real. And good race. I'm glad at HendricksCar.com or whatever the fuck. Hendricks Car didn't win. Fuck Hendricks. Fuck Byron. Fuck Larson. Fuck them all. And happy to see Austin Dillon get stuck in the gravel, and sad for his teammate though, Kyle Busch. And Christopher Bell wins again because he comes in clutch. He's one of the greatest drivers. Way to go. And go Bubba, fuck Donald Trump. And fuck that stupid prayer lady, whatever her name was. Gaines. Bitch, lost. Get lost. That's what you need to do.
Blair, is that you? Next time you call the show, you got to introduce yourself, dog. You can't just come in here raw. But yeah, maybe you shouldn't watch. Bubba's cooked since you've been busy. But let's try and keep it that way.
Listen, sacrifices have to be made now. If that's what it takes to go on a run, Twitter's pretty quick.
If he win and you're not watching, we go send you a T-shirt. We gonna keep you entertained with merch, so you can just stay busy and not watch this man.
I'm just saying, Twitter's pretty quick. They're pretty quick to keep you up to date. So that might have to be the move.
Make sure your notifications are on. Shout it. But all right, let's get into it. So we'll save the beef for later because Twitter was ablaze after the Xfinity race. But Connor Zilic got the pole, wrecked his car, got a penalty, wrecked it again, won the race. Connor Zilic wins his second Xfinity race in his second start. He's 2 for 2. Like Ryan Truex, he's shooting 100% from behind the wheel. Connor Zilic wins the Xfinity race at COTA. Good, bad, and different. Let's talk about it. Monte, I'll start with you. What did you think of the
Connor Zilic? There you go.
All right.
What'd you think of the Xfinity race?
Every week we do this. You always start with Bonte, and he'll say a combined 18 letters, and then I have to try and come along and sweep up after him. I'll just say, the short and sweet of it, this race was a dog walking. I mean, this was a Clifford the Big Red Dog size dog walking. Like this is an ass whooping. There are a lot of grown men in that field, and they all got whooped up by the kid, and it was just really, really impressive. I don't have many more words that I could say. I'm not going to try and pad time by talking about it any more than that. It was just beyond impressive. I feel like he might have had a better chance at possibly doing the double if luck might have shown his way on Sunday, but came in, had the pole, and just whooped up on everyone. The one thing I will say is they better be so thankful that there were stage cautions in this race, because he might have lapped the field. If this just went green 100%, he might have lapped the whole field, because he was pulling away by a second a lap at times. And I feel like the more the tire fall off would have kicked in, I just think it could have been uglier. They got a reprieve by him getting a caution. So yeah, Connor, A++. I want to see you back in some kind of NASCAR vehicle, quick, fast, in a hurry, because that was everything you could ask for from a racing standpoint. So that's all you can talk about. There's nothing else to talk about besides him. So that's it.
Yeah. Kid's the reincarnation of Richard Petty. He's going to be phenomenal. He was phenomenal. If it wasn't for him stubbing his toe, and I really thought there was a moment that they were going to do the JR Motorsports thing, which was him getting to a crash. I think it was Quapple. I really thought they'd damage each other badly enough that they were going to cost themselves the win, which is tradition. But overall, once again, a really good, well-balanced race. Saw Austin Hill up there showing that he can do things besides just be the greatest super speedway racer that ever lived. And yeah. It was so good across the board that there's really not a whole lot to discuss. So they need to make these races trash, so we've got things to discuss. Bad job, NASCAR.
All right, now we got to talk about it because it's. I was going to save it for open mic, but let's just talk about it now. Sheldon Creed versus Jesse Love versus other drivers keying in the comments. If you didn't see it, Jesse Love and Sheldon Creed went at it a little bit, went door to door a couple times in the race yesterday, and then things got taken to Twitter. Don't quote me because I don't have the tweet up in front of me, but Sheldon said something slick to Jesse, and then Jesse said scoreboard because I'm driving your car and I won in it. Is Sheldon Creed cooked?
Flambéed, roasted, sous vide, Dutch ovened. What else you want? Barbecue, air fried. What? Peyton, help me out. I know there's a couple others I'm missing. What else is there?
Fun
dude. Like, what more do you want, man?
Why you poke the bear? I can't keep forgiving you.
I like him. I like Sheldon Creed, but man, he just really did step into it to beef with the guy who is taking your car to places it's never seen when your ass was in it.
Not even close.
Yeah, and then, it sort of makes me wonder, maybe Andy Petrie was right. Like, at that Martinsville race on the pit stand when he was dog cursing Sheldon.
He said, you ain't got it.
Yeah, maybe he's maybe he knew in the long games, like, no, you always see the Sheldon I know. And, yeah, maybe this is the Sheldon, but I still love him. I don't know why. He's going to prove him wrong next time out. He's going to prove him wrong. He's going to win.
Where?
Yeah, where? Wait, where do you mean prove him wrong again? He's never proved him wrong once.
Excuse me. Damn. Yeah, you're right.
What body of evidence do we have, friend? I ask.
Yeah, I forgot about those wins that he doesn't have. Oh, he's going to prove him wrong for the first time. There we go.
Listen, you know, and the thing is, like, I do think at some point, this dude will probably get a win. He might have to backdoor Alex Bowman magic wish it to happen, but like, it's gonna happen at some point. But the thing is, like, you know, you can win a race and still be a loser, and I don't know how else to explain it.
That's crazy.
I don't know how else to explain it, but sometimes just because you win and you make an achievement, and you're still an elite at your field, you're still a loser. And like, this whole Twitter chatter, back and forth, Twitter fingers, it's giving real loser tendencies for me. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, but you ain't done nothing. Not half of nothing, not a quarter nothing. And the only job is to win. You ain't done it. And then this guy, you know, like Peyton said, literally took your car. He walked up into your old house, put his feet up on the desk in your office, and then he looked over and had 2 trophies on the wall that you left bare. You ain't have nothing but dust in it. So hey man, you gotta show me something, please. You can't not do your job well and be a dick. You can be a dick and be great at your job, but you can't talk trash and also suck. Like, you got to pick a struggle. You know, am I wrong here? Jared looked like he, you know, just got some real bad news. Just defend your man, Jared. Come on, speak up now. This is your time to shine.
To defend him when there's no W's, there's no figures or tick marks in the W column. Like, it's really hard. Like, statistically, he's phenomenal. He'll get you to the playoffs. He'll get you to a couple rounds in there. He'll make sure your owner points is tight. Make sure you get paid off the car number. But you shouldn't have jumped in that conversation, big dog. You should have left that one alone. But not to be outdone, Josh Bilicki and Chris Wright went at it on Twitter yesterday too. Josh Bilicki was like, yeah, I had a really fast car on the show for it. We was at the back of the field coming up, you know, top 12 speed. Then Chris Wright had another lights too bright. And it ruined our day.
You know, I was told, history told me that the Battle of Mid was 1942, but I think they need to update the Wikipedia to 2024 because I feel like neither of you are worthy to be talking trash about anyone. Maybe I'm too harsh, but I just feel like if neither of y'all are doing anything, like the last thing that matters is back markers, fighting. Like we used to be a country, man. That's all I could say. We used to be a country.
But I expect this from the Xfinity series though, because nobody in Cup is gonna speak up or speak out on transgressions or indifferences. Like I always expect the young guys to talk trash. And Josh Bilicki went in on this, man. Said he stepped on his dick 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks in a row. Like, damn, dude, and he did, because he wrecked at Daytona, and then he ARCA braked on pit road last week in Atlanta, and then went again yesterday. It's just man, I'm really excited for Phoenix. It's a short track, quote unquote. Trying to see if there's gonna be some more violence next week. I'm tuned in. I'm locked in. Another masterful call by the CW guys. They have something cooking. That booth is phenomenal. The graphics package is phenomenal. The camera angles are phenomenal. Take some notes, Fox, from we'll talk about it later. Congratulations, NASCAR and CW. You've been cooking the 3 weeks of the season, 3 for 3. Fantastic stuff. Anybody else got anything else for Xfinity before we move on? Nope. Cool. The Cup drivers race today. That's right. It's Sunday. Post race. Y'all gonna hear us real soon. Bubba Wallace wins stage 1. Thank you. I can't say enough thanks to Charles Denike. Thank you. Just thank you, sir. Bubba wins stage 1. Stage points. Bubba finished I think stage 2. What was that? 7th or 8th? Got more stage points there. And then Bubba finished 20th. But he wasn't the star of the show. Mr. Christopher Bell, again in a week with a non-double scheme, gets another sticker on his car. We have our first back-to-back winner, and it's week 3. Bonte, I told you, you take the trash off the vinyl, and your man will be great. He went back-to-back. How do you feel?
This double scheme bullshit. I was not expecting this the other one back. I ain't lie, but he was going out of the towel towards the end. Him and Kyle was great racing, respectful to each other, and both especially also really bothering attention to the win too. But happy, really happy. Back to back wins for two battle. But Delta promotion in the house. You already know. I want to brag this one to Jared, because Jared is full of shit, but you're welcome. But other than that, outside of it, the rest is pretty smooth. I enjoyed it. Credit for Collins Village. Man, such that he's out of the race. That's what G was getting around. Level 1, stage 1. That's a really good stage for him, He finished top 20. Hey, it's a win, bro. Shut up. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, cool race. Happy Seatbelt won. After done, because we got this loser just laughing at me.
Monte, what were you just doing? We couldn't hear any of that. And then all of a sudden you come in crystal clear 400K HD.
Tell him what you said, Pace. Tell him what you said.
I couldn't understand what he was saying, but he sounded happy.
You did not.
He said he sounds like he's happy.
Yeah, happy. It was a good race. My probably want to race.
Can you quit snorkeling, please? It's late at night.
Your microphone was really struggling there.
It's not safe to swim at night, Bonte.
Is the guard on duty? They have to go home, right?
What are you talking about?
Never mind. You got it. You got it. You got it.
I'm gonna get shot if I ever go to Milwaukee. He's gonna be standing there at the county line.
Yeah, pay me. Go ahead, Art.
Thanks, director. I hated most of this race. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I don't even hate that Bell won. I really like the last 10 or 12 laps or so. After the last restart, I hate how spread out this track gets. Was it this bad the last year or two?
Yeah, it was. Especially
because I just feel like it was so spread out that after the first 10 or 15 seconds of the lap, it was just a carousel at that point. I was thinking as the race was going on, this really is the Phoenix of road courses because only the restarts are interesting. And as soon as you get out of that first turn, it's kind of boring after that for the most part. I really enjoyed watching, like I said, the last couple of laps. I was really pulling for Kyle to pull it home, Kyle Busch. Unfortunately, didn't have it today. But they raced each other really hard and really cleanly, and I got to give them credit for that. When there was plenty of terrorism on display from Ross, amongst others, but primarily Ross. It was nice and refreshing to see them race super clean but super hard at the end there. Overall, like I said, there was a lot of this race I just didn't enjoy, I guess. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, Bubba had some mistakes we'll get to, but, like, kind of was rallying at points. And, like, that didn't deter me from enjoying it. But I don't know. It just felt kind of boring to me. I'm kind of over COTA for NASCAR. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. I wish I had like better content to share at this moment about why I didn't like it, but it just felt boring to me. Also, like, what is the line for cutting corners? Because it seemed like that got wiped through within a racer. Yeah, like rule. Like, what happened? Like, okay, we're gonna hit Bubba early, and then all of a sudden, never again. And he's my boy. I love you, SVG. But that man was in Dallas, Texas, as far off the track as he was at times. Like, my man was fully off the track every lap, and they didn't call it. That part was kind of frustrating to me. And you know what? This is the last aside. This might be another like old man yells at clouds, but what the hell is up with this 6A, 6B, 6C turn system? Am I the only one that hates that? Maybe it's just
the broadcast needs to just refer to the corners per Brad Perez does.
I mean, I would have taken that honestly, because they're like, 6B and 6Z, and I'm like, in my world, that would have just been a 7, but I just whatever. Anyway, this was a great race if you had chores to do. Like if you had to sweep or mop or fold laundry, this was A+, because Mike Joy would cut in with that trouble, and you'd like stop and look, and then you'd watch a couple of replays, and then you could go back to doing your chores, and you really didn't miss nothing. So the Cup race was a miss for me, outside of the last 10 laps, obviously. But to me, the last 10 laps don't make it a great race. Like, it also felt very long. Maybe I'm just being a grumpy old man, but it felt like a very long race, and left me wanting more. So I'm fine if we don't come back here ever again.
You ever have one of those moments where like you write all your notes and you're thinking, man, I had a lot of fun. You're sitting there vibing, and then you hear one of your co-hosts just tear something to shreds. You're like, man, am I stupid, or like I enjoyed it? And then he does hit me with it was great if you were doing chores, which, full disclosure, I was barbecuing most of the race, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it. That was by far the best COTA race we've had. It was great throughout. The track changes were phenomenal. I thought it really kept the gaps a lot closer. You've got to remember that during the first 15 or so laps, Tyler Reddick wasn't able to pull out a very large gap. Then he got caught. He consistently had a short-run car. You did see guys come and go throughout the field and see how they were able to improve, where Kyle Busch, you could tell he was close. I thought this was probably the potentially maybe the best road course race we've had with this car, with Watkins Glen last year being a close second. Like, this was fantastic. Like, this is what we're wanting. The tire fall off was noticeable. You did see in this last stage the factor of fresher tires become a factor. And yeah, so I don't know if it was like Arthur was saying, perhaps because I was keeping an eye on it, but I wasn't necessarily sat there glued to every single lap. I thought it was really a big improvement. I like what they did with the tires. I like what they did with the course. I thought it was a really, really good show overall. The right mix of NASCAR zaniness in terms of crashes, goofiness, people punning each other, Austin Cindric losing his damn mind and just wanting to send the 10 car, sweet Ty Dillon, the likable Dillon, just wants to put him in front and get nearly demolished. I don't know who nearly killed Ty Dillon when he got right reared, but yeah, it has had the right combination of everything. So yeah, Art, why don't you just go ahead and start barbecuing while you're watching these races? Maybe we'll have more fun. I had a great time.
I honestly think that's a good idea. And like, I'm not trying to take away anyone else's enjoyment. Like, if you enjoyed the race, I'm sincerely happy for you. Like, no shade, no sarcasm there. Like, I want everyone to enjoy the race. But like, for me, like, I'm the opposite of what I described. Like, when I'm watching a race, especially the Cup race, like, I'm locked in, sitting on the couch. Like, I'm looking at my phone if it's downtime or like a caution, but most of the time I'm locked in, especially if it's a really good and exciting race. And I spent a lot more time on my phone this week than I normally would. It just felt like it just got really spread out. And yes, people could pass and make moves, but it felt like you had to really, really work to pass. And I know, like, we want that, but we don't want to make it too easy or too hard. But it just didn't hit for me. It just did not click for me. And like I said, if other people are enjoying it, I'm happy for you. I'm not trying to ruin anyone's parade if you're coming out of this and you loved it. But
have we had a better road course race with this car?
Yeah, I feel like I have to go back and think about Watkins Glen. I remember bits and pieces of that race.
Last year was the one where SVG was leading, and then he made
Busher.
With Busher. Yeah. So it was a very good finish. And beyond that, I really can't think of a great road course race with this car that wasn't just a crash fest.
I don't know. Maybe the Indy Road Course. You said it wasn't a crash fest. First Indy Road Course was a crash fest, but that might be a top 10 most entertaining race of my lifetime. The first Indy Road Course, because that was all the scale was turned all the way up on the calamity.
So for you need the pandemonium.
I don't need it, but it just. I think it's the nature of this course with these cars. It feels so much of the race you're just riding in line. Like, you just feel like you're constantly just riding in line. And I know, like, road courses aren't the same as ovals, right? Where you only have like certain spots to pass, but it just feels like there's 2-3 corners you can pass. And other than that, it feels like you're just riding around. And I think one of those corners is one of those, not a hairpin, but, a very aggressive turn that like almost no one can make work or made work today. It might have been 6Z. I don't know which turn it was off top hand, but I don't need it to be a mess, but I just feel like throughout the entirety of the race, I would like to see more action throughout the field. And like, again, like the last 10 laps were great. And there were periods during the race that were really good. Like you mentioned, like SVG was really good. Reddick was good for a while. I'm not going to say like this race was trash. Like Larson losing a wheel was crazy. Like you mentioned, Cindric needs to sit down. Can we just address that for me? Like, he needs to sit a week, right?
No.
Why not? He right hooked somebody into a wall.
We know that in terms of the usage of that rule, that really doesn't fit.
But how doesn't it fit though?
Yes, he did get him in the right rear and turn him, but it was also not turning him in the corner like on an oval where you are saying them head first at a complete 90-degree angle. Like, yes, by the letter he did right rear him, but I think there's
I'm looking
exiting like the final turn versus doing it entering into, let's say, turn 1 at Charlotte?
I mean, I see Cindric do like a 400-degree turn on the front stretch and almost gets run into by the 34. I mean, if the rule is you can't right hook someone and hand him towards the wall at speed, I mean, is there a speed threshold? Is it above 170? It's illegal. Like,
I think by the letter of the law, yes, it should be penalized. By the spirit of what they're looking for, I don't even think this will get looked at. But I mean, consistency's sake, they just want to ward off any sort of retaliatory type act. Yeah, because this would fit this sort of retaliatory type act, but I don't see it happening.
I was just so surprised how much they downplayed it. Like they talked about it like it was like he got dumped, into the corner, like it was nothing. Like he literally was face first towards the wall. Like, I credit he was face first towards all the walls because he was spinning. But I mean, he's doing that in traffic. There's cars all around though.
Yeah, it was definitely a bad scene, but I would be surprised if they did something. But I also said the same thing last year about a similar incident, and yeah, they punished the heck out of him. So yeah, when it comes to justice in NASCAR, I'm not a good judge of that. So
I mean, I'm sort of with Hayden. If you weren't directing your 100% full attention to this race, you probably thought it was good. I couldn't care for it. To Arch's point, it seemed kind of long in the tooth. I don't know how this race was longer with a shorter track, but it definitely feel like it lasted longer than last year did, and I still can't fathom why. Maybe I got to go back and look at the lap times, but this race definitely did seem longer without as many cautions for incidents. I don't know what's up with that. Cindric should 100% get fined, penalized, kicked out, something of the sort. He wrecked him on the front stretch. Everybody saw it. It was right in front of the cameras. It was right in front of the flag stand. Hey, we all saw it. You have to do your time and serve your penalty. You don't even need to pull the SMT. You just done for the week, bro. You got to pay your tithes. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it was a meh race. Like, I feel like if Bubba wouldn't have won the first stage, I probably wouldn't have cared. But it sort of kept me in tune just because I wanted to see what and we'll talk about this probably again in 2311 corner, but I just wanted to see what the pitch strategy looked like for the three cars to see who was going to do what, to see how they fared compared to what would happen with them if there was any caution for incident, to see my hesitancy comes from Peyton sharing some media here and looking at the slide. You can see Austin Cindric right rear, Ty Dillon on the front stretch of the track in 4K, which means that your boy gonna miss Phoenix. We got the audio replay, and Carl ain't even here. Look at that. Yeah, he's cooked. But yeah, this it wasn't exciting. I didn't like it.
I just think this track doesn't work well with these cars. I mean, I don't think these cars work well at many places, but I think this track just doesn't lend itself. It's just the angles of the turns are really tight. Like, once you get into S's, it's hard to pass. Like, I get they made the adjustment to try to make the track shorter.
Like racy, yeah,
but like, it just doesn't fit it well.
Indy cars, it'll probably cook when MotoGP comes to Coda. Now,
right,
that is a damn race. That is that's something that you want to watch.
Let me ask you guys this, and I hate that we would necessarily intertwine with another podcast here, but we all know the good race, bad race poll. Where do you all think this one will rank? Like, what do you think the general NASCAR viewing populace will view this? Because I feel like I generally am shocked by how down you guys are on this. Like I said, I might be in the minority on this, but
I mean, I think it'll get it'll get a good rating because a popular driver won at the end, and people on those polls mostly only go off of who won and what the last 10, 12 laps were like.
Yeah, the last 10 or 12 laps were phenomenal.
Those were amazing. Yeah, I mean, that was great. There's 4 cars under a blanket, fighting like hell. Like, that was great. I'm not going to act like every lap of this was trash, because that's not the case. But the totality of it, to me, wasn't a good race. But I think it'll get good ratings because of that.
That's fair.
I feel like it's going to be just like Atlanta last year, like me and Art talked about on last week's episode. The finish made it seem like that race slapped. That race was shit. Today's race was shit. The last 10 laps are going to make people say, like, oh, it was so awesome. Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell didn't kill each other after last year. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so y'all are just going to be wrong 2 weeks in a row. Got it.
Wow. It wasn't a good race. And I'm going to vote it that way 4 times.
We talked good about Atlanta last week. Where were you for that?
I give it 70.
He was in Atlanta.
I know, but I'm saying we said it was good last week. Now here you come back acting like we hate on that track.
Last week's Atlanta, awesome. Last year's Atlanta, trash. 3 wide finish, be damned.
There was a 4 wide, for nearly 2 laps last year at Atlanta, so your opinion is moot.
We gave you your flowers last week. Go back and listen to it.
Okay.
We gave you your flowers. We said,
listen here, you can't.
Peyton was right.
Yeah, I'm not
in
going to say
HD
Peyton was right.
in 4K.
I'll never say that.
I think I don't think we admitted fully to saying it, but I think we said something so he could pick up the hints. He's good at context clues. But yeah, this wasn't a good race. I mean, shout out to NASCAR for trying something, but like Art said, let's give this date to another SMI track. Let's go move the Ford F-250s out of Kentucky and load up a damn cup race.
Okay, you got me. I'm all in. I love that track.
To hell with the Western Swing. We don't care about that no more.
That's all it took.
Wow.
Peyton's very easily swayed. That's one thing I've realized.
That's because I can go to Kentucky without having to spend a cool gram,
Lucky you.
Right.
You're close to Kentucky too. It don't matter. Whatever. We move.
Quick fried chicken.
We move. We're not talking about chicken. This is a NASCAR podcast.
A black NASCAR podcast.
Never mind.
23-11 corner.
Never mind.
23-11 corner. We move. Leave it alone. So Bubba almost had a bonfire road course race. The only thing that stopped him, what was that? 18 to go on the restart. He drove over the commitment thing. Well, not the commitment cone. The choose square, and they moved them to the end of the longest line. And then there was terrorism, but NASCAR didn't call the caution because the track's so big they'll just fix themselves. So Bubba ended up finishing 20th when, with the pit strategy, with him taking the 4 tires, had he not got that penalty, he probably would have gotten a top 10, which would have been amazing. But he finished P20. Riley finished P17. Tyler Reddick didn't score any stage points in stage 2, but ended up finishing P3 in the race. Your 2025 drivers' point standings for 23-11. Tyler Reddick sits 3rd. Bubba Wallace sits 6th. And Rook sits 21st. Shout out to Chumba Casino. I like that car. That was a pretty paint scheme. Shout out to the gamblers. 1-800-GAMBLER. Make sure you call the number if you get into the weeds too deep betting on NASCAR.
There you go.
Speaking from experience.
I was going to say, are you talking about yourself there, bud?
The last time, no. So the time before last I bet on NASCAR, Bo Wallace won in Kansas, and I won enough to pay my mortgage payment. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, that sounds like problem gambling.
It definitely is.
That sounds like, it's been what, 2.5 years since then. He's still chasing that high.
I am. It was.
Blame me for I blame you for the jinx. Blame you for all of it.
The jinx. I almost said something that was going to get us sent to the NASCAR hauler. The jinx, Bonte, is going to be on top of the pit box for Corey Hyman, Kansas. Tell me your thoughts on 23-11 corner.
I'm tired of you. What are you drinking? Toddy.
You only mad at me because I'm right. Liquid Death.
Is that any good?
Yes,
this one is
good.
Tasty. It's cola.
I'll try it. Okay. So anyway, though, like I was saying earlier, a lot of mistakes was made, but you could come back to it. Stage 1 win, got some good points. Was in 16, but went a little bit too hard in the last corner to sit on the top 20. But it is what it is. Had good race, yeah, good days, bad days. I thought today was okay, besides the mistakes, but we'll get it again. Tyler, I'm not surprised. He really good at the track. Riley, keep it up. There you go.
All right.
I mean, this was an interesting. You had Tyler, who was pretty consistently top 10, top 5 for most of the day. You had Riley, who kind of battled back. He finished 17th. Fun fact, I learned after this race, he's finished 17th in every race this year. He's 3 for 3 finishing 17th, which I find that fascinating. I just think, what are the odds of that happening? And then for Bubba probably had the most exciting day, and Reddick almost won, and Bubba's day was probably on the whole more adventurous, honestly. Started second, right? Had the penalty early on, which suddenly seemed to not be a penalty for anybody else, but whatever. Got a stage win. Hey, all right, we cooking. Came back, got some more stage points. Hey, all right. Played some strategy. They were gonna start on like we mentioned here, 21st. I think he's gonna start 21st on the restart. He was right behind Chase, I want to say, and Chase drove right up through the field, finished 4th. And then because of that penalty, that they put him back in 34th, and going into the last turn, he had gone from 34th to 17th in 18 laps or something like that, 17 laps. And ended up spinning out, losing a couple spots, finished 20th. All in all, a really good day, honestly. The bar for Bubba at road courses continues to get set higher. I know he's disappointed based off of the finish and that mistake. And yeah, I have very little doubt that on fresh tires with that much time, if they probably finish, anywhere, I think between 8th and 12th, I think is realistic. I don't know if they would have driven up to 4th like Chase did, but you never know. He passed Chase on speed the run before that caution. Drove up to him, drove by him, and kept going. So who knows? But the big picture, this was a really good race for the team, for the organization overall. I'm looking here at the stats. It says that Reddick got the 5th most points on the day. Bubba got the 8th most points on the day. So when you look at that as a whole, that's a really, really solid day for a track that we're used to coming. I think all Bubba Wallace fans would close their eyes and watch between their fingers and pray we see the finish line, see we finish the checker flag. So to get 30 points, like I said, 8th most on the day. I mean, I don't know how you could be completely upset. Yeah, you always want more, but I think that just the growth and maturity of Bubba as a driver continues to grow. Charles on the box made some really great calls, and they seemed like they had a good car the whole day. It wasn't great. It wasn't going to be a race-winning car by any stretch, but I think they had a really good, I think it's fair to say they had probably a top 10 car, I feel like. Again, 8 to 15th probably place car in terms of speed. So it's really promising. I'm really excited to see him at the Roval, because he ran well at the Roval before Suarez took him out. I'm excited to see him at Watkins Glen. Remember, he had a 10th place there recently. Even at Chicago, he ran pretty well for a while until a certain driver in the 48 decided to ruin his day. So I just feel like, the days of us praying to get a top 30 finish for Bubba are long gone. But I think, having realistic expectations is still really important. Bubba had 2 bad mistakes today. They rebounded from one and they just couldn't from the other in terms of the total finish. But even with those 2 mistakes, like that's a good day. That's a really good day. So I'm very encouraged by it. In they've got good cars. Clearly, they're putting out good cars and they're making good adjustments. So as a fan of the driver, that's all you can ask for. So we'll move on to Phoenix, and I'm excited to see what happens. I'm glad for him to get off some road courses and off drafting tracks and get on some true ovals for a while. I think that'll really be a refreshing change of pace, right? You have a bit more of your destiny in your own hands at that point, and see where the season goes from there.
Good teams maximize good days with not race-winning cars. Pete, what'd you think? Thoughts, feelings, opinions?
Yeah, overall, first off, I need them. It seems like it's incapable for the folks on Fox to pay attention to trends, and I get it. We watch Bubba Wallace with a laser focus, but it's the whole like, oh, see, look, he's followed his teammate. They have done that every time since Tyler's gotten here. Like, stop highlighting it's like, oh my gosh, some amazing strategy. Like, no, it's just a smart way to do it. And every time they do it, they always seem surprised. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I assume they do not watch this with the laser focus on one driver like we do. But it's nothing fancy. It's just smart. And yeah, he looked sporty in the first stage. Overused his stuff a little bit, but it also had Shane Van Gisbergen behind him, referring to Bubba Wallace here. It did seem like, at least for the first half of the race, all of the 2311 cars that I watched had sort of a short run. The 45 faded pretty hard in the first and second stage. And overall, I'd like to say that any crew chief, especially one for the 23, either this year or last year, probably would have made the same decisions once it seemed like Bubba was not going to be running in the top 10 to go ahead and optimize for the points. That makes sense because here's the thing. Once you get in the pack, there's a good chance that you may get into a bit of a mess. And so it's like, hey, we can finish 15th and get a bunch of stage points, or we can finish 15th and get whatever points 15th gets you. So on that end, I think a smart play there. The initial mistake by Bubba, hey, that's racing. It's a mistake. Apparently he cut at turn 5, which is one of the early parts of the S's. It was not the later one that was just constantly being cut. So yeah, I wish that we could have gotten some clarification on that, just to make it a little easier. But thanks. I believe it was Phil in the chat who explained that to us, why Bubba was penalized when it seemed like everyone else was cutting. The later part that they were showing on TV of everyone cutting, them not penalizing for period. I don't know why, and I don't know why the drivers just didn't straight line that thing if they weren't going to penalize it, but that's another discussion. Tyler Reddick, yeah, phenomenal at that track. I don't think he had a winning car until the very end. I think even then he was going to need some help and a lot more time to really tangle with the top two. Riley was uninteresting, which I think is what you want for a rookie. You don't want to be, if you're not going to be up there winning, then just don't be remarkably bad. And he was fine. 17th for the third time in a row is fantastic. And yeah, for Bubba, it was a good points weekend, a little bit frustrating to sort of knowing what could have been. Would have been nice to see a top 10, but like Art did mention, he did get top 10 level points, which in the day, you'll take that. I just hope he doesn't beat himself up too badly about the second mistake, which I may have to beat him up about later on. So, and I think Art has something to say.
Yeah, I had one last quick thing. And, you maybe reminded me, I kind of forgot. Bubba technically had a hat trick of mistakes, if you think about it, right? He had the off track, the commitment box, and the spin coming to the line. That cost him a few
spin. He was trying to get after it and get
I mean, the risk versus reward, though. It's like, okay, do I want to try to really hard to gain one spot? Well, now I lost 4. Like,
I feel like when they're racing, like I definitely agree with you on that, but I also feel like too, like, I don't know whether you really, because he fell from 17th to 20th, so it might have been worth the risk. I mean, I guess when you're sort of in that level of the pack, hey, just send something. Maybe you pick up 2 more spots. But yeah, I don't hold that one against him. But yeah, I guess you could say three errors on the day.
Yeah, and like again, like the fact that you had those errors and you finished 8th in total points, right? That just, like I said, I don't want to harsh too much on that. I remember, what was it, last year, the year before, when McDowell was like licking his chops and kind of like alluding in the place like, oh, we got road courses coming up and I got to pass Bubba, right? Like, the idea that he was just going to be a rollover at these types of courses, and it clearly isn't the case. But before we move on, I just want to point out one last thing. I just came across a tweet while we were sitting here talking, and it's Daniel C. Pentes. I hope I butchered your name, Daniel, but I apologize. But I follow you. He does a lot of the NASCAR stats, and he pointed out something that after 3 weeks, 2 drivers have lead the Cup Series with 31 stage points, and they are Joey Logano, the defending champion, and 1 Bubba Wallace. So for a team that couldn't buy a stage point, it seemed like the first 20 weeks of the year at times, they're getting it done early. So 6 in points. And you got to give Tyler his flowers too, right? Because he's, 4th or 3rd in points. So both of those 2 guys are clicking off really good finishes right now and performing well. So I just thought that was a really cool stat to see that he's tied with the defending champion for stage points. It's only 3 weeks, but let's take our wins when we can get them. All right, moving on.
Come on. You are unserious.
Lights too bright. I'm not going to fumble this week, so I'm going first so nobody else steals mine. My lights too bright this week is NASCAR's very own Race Control. Out of all the other racing series that race on road courses that give warnings for exceeding track limits, you decided to penalize Bubba Wallace on the 3rd lap of the race, and then it just went by the wayside for everybody else. Also, for you to penalize him for it was 3, 4, and 5 that you could get a penalty on, but not 6, which was the more egregious penalty. You could just literally cut a 90-degree corner and just completely miss it. Like completely miss the apex to just gain a whole bunch of speed. Shane Van Gisbergen. Malarkey. Race Control gives my lights too bright. I hate fucking road courses.
Can I go next?
You could only hang on. You can only give one.
Yeah, if you give one.
If you give more than one name, I'm cutting you out the rest of the episode. I mean, I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. I will kick you out the show. One, please. Thank you.
Fucking asshole. Anyways, my lights too. No, yeah, you are too, Jared. Both of y'all. My lights too bright this week is NASCAR. I'm about to rant. No, I'm serious about to rant. Why the fuck do we keep adding these people? Like, wait, what's that? Hold on. What's the lady name today that did that stupid prayer?
Oh, Lincoln Riley.
Where her fucking name is. And I like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are y'all like, what, really? What the fuck are we doing?
Quick correction, by the way. Lincoln Riley's a football coach. It's actually, oh gosh, I had it right in front of me. Riley Gaines.
This is why. Never mind.
Thanks, Peyton.
You're welcome.
Peyton, who's your lights too bright?
I really want to do it, but I'm not. So I'm gonna chicken out. I'm gonna chicken out, fellas, and I'll just do Trackhouse. Poor Trackhouse. It was supposed to be their big weekend. They have big shiny SVG with his fancy foreign accent and his shiny WeatherTech car, and you got big Connor Zilic with his second highest odds to win the race as a rookie. He has some people call him the next reincarnation of Richard Petty. You got Daniel Suarez coming out here with his win at a road course, and you've got the most exciting man to ever sell Busch beer in Chastain. And what do? They just when they crash into each other. They absolutely demolish one another. Spectacular crash. That looked like it really hurt. In an unforced error, by the way. It was the 99 getting a bit greedy on, I believe, corner entry and unload the car. So, yeah, that's a bad look. And then I only actually blame Zilich for running into it, because with these sort of things, it's not really ARCA braking because they don't really throw the caution on these things. So, yeah, didn't ARCA brake it, just really bad luck. SVG, he was competitive throughout portions, but just didn't have the horses. And then Chastain just managed to take out the most popular driver, which, frankly, that's something that we reserve for Stenhouse. So when you're taking Stenhouse out of a job, what are we doing? So good job, Trackhouse. Also, Bubba Wallace. Lights too bright.
Who was your actual lights too bright, Peyton? I have to ask.
You didn't list it like 5 people, 6 people.
Well, this is the whole team. But I really wanted to do Bubba Wallace because, for me, a choose cone violation. The cone doesn't move. It's been there all weekend.
That's crazy. Like, I can't pick more than one. I get kicked out and pay the dust. That's some bull. Anyway, go ahead. Wow.
He's concise with his. Your
whatever.
All right, who's your lights too bright besides Bonte?
Oh, man, this segment did not go the direction I thought it would. I mean, probably Denny. Denny kind of had a really crappy weekend.
How did he lose his fender?
Ask Fox, brother, because they never showed me. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Maybe I take you to Denny. You off the hook. I want to give it to the Fox broadcast. They had a god awful performance this week, and that's from a crew that's normally really bad. So I'm gonna take Denny off. I was gonna be Denny for his fender loss, and then him just plowing into, what was it, Austin Dillon, and then got away, scooted away scot free. But I'll say the Fox broadcast, they really showed their ass this week. Like, bad camera angles, they're not following the story. They had a pass for the lead with 5 laps to go, and they're showing us a camera from behind the grandstands.
Even the booth was caught unaware.
Like, your own people. It was your own man's. For a production group that sucks, like, they had a really bad week. And for the booth as well, there's no flow, there's no chemistry, I feel like, between the 3 of them that they have in there now, Mike, Clint, and Kevin. I don't know who you get to go, but I know who I would pick to go, but I don't know who you get maybe to come in to replace them, but they just have no chemistry, and it's constantly Clint trying to talk over Kevin Harvick and be funny and insightful, and they just don't work. Like, Kevin is a really serious guy, and Clint is, a yuck, happy, good luck time, and they just don't fit at all. And you just watch that CW booth for Xfinity, man, those 3, they have some chemistry. They cook, and it's the same thing, right? A play-by-play and 2 drivers, and they're just so much better. So yeah, I'll give it to Fox. There were lots of times where I was wondering what had happened. Never found out. I had to find out about Bubba's spin coming to the line off Twitter. Never showed anything about it. I'm not saying you have to cut to that right away because you just had a winner, but you got all this post race. You could talk about something through the field. Yeah, no, I didn't like it. And I'm gonna be honest. They threw a lot of jabs at Bubba, and I don't appreciate it. I see you, certain people in the booth and in the production group. I know your game, and I don't appreciate it. There's a couple of you, but I know who you are. Mm-hmm. That's all right.
They know what the fans want. They want good prayers like we got, and they want jabs. They want to make sure everyone sees the jokes on the 23 car. It's fan service, man. It's fan service.
As always.
Shut up, Payne. God, you're pissing me off.
As always, Super Bright is brought to you by our partners over at Nectar Sunglasses. Use our promo code VictoryLane5. Save 15% off some sunnies. Open mic. I too have beef with Fox because I watched the IndyCar race from St. Petersburg, Florida this morning or this early afternoon, and the production side for them The graphics package, Jamie Little on pit road, the booth, top tier. It's amazing how Fox acquired IndyCar, they acquired MotoGP, and they're working to get the F1 rights next year for America. And I know that every single one of these broadcasts outside of the NASCAR one is fantastic because I witnessed with them my own 2 eyes today. It was amazing. The camera angles, the pit road acknowledgments, the pit strategies, they were all on top of it. It was fantastic. It was amazing. And it just sucks that we're stuck with greedy Fox and we got races taken away from the NBC side of the schedule instead of their side. The only race that they gave up was the 600. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible. NASCAR got billions for what? For mediocrity? Wasted damn money to me.
You just blew my mind when you explained that Fox could legitimately have NASCAR, IndyCar, MotoGP, and F1. You know what they could do? They could just bring back Speed Network, baby. We could be so
we
back.
Could be finished. We could be so back.
Vision. We could be Speed Vision.
Bring it back.
Oh,
The hell was
The
that?
best we can give you are some cartoon drawings. That's the best we can
I
give
was
you.
going to say.
no, but Speed, yeah, I do miss Speed better than back.
Why are you back underwater?
Shut the fuck up, anyways.
Anybody else have anything else for open mic? I got a question for you since we're here and Bonte's pissing me off.
I have.
Does Christopher Bell go back to back to back and win at Phoenix next week?
No. One of the Penske guys will.
The slipper fell off.
I'll stop watching the sport if he does.
Good.
You watched Larson almost go 4 for 4. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, but Larson is actually, you know what? Never mind.
Ooh, say it. Go ahead.
Larson at least makes you feel something. With Bell, what is there to feel? Like he's warm tap water.
You don't like toast with no toppings? Is that what you're saying?
No, exactly. I don't want dry toast or church coffee. And that's what he is.
I have to say though, he really has at least been a bit more like, I feel like, yes, is he personality wise eggshell white? Yes, but as a person at least, like, it seems like he's really started to like at least have a little bit of a backbone and like speak up on some things this year. Like he was kind of seemed like, oh, I'm just Christopher Bell and I'm just happy to be here and I'm just gonna try and do my best. And now he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna ruin Carl's day and I'm gonna whip Kyle Busch's ass and win. Like I feel like something's happened to him over the offseason. He letting his well, I'm not gonna say what the term I was about to say. He's really showing off. No.
Say it. We are explicit now.
He's really performing at a very high level. That's what he's doing. Good on him. He's clearly figured something out. If he wins the championship, I'm all for it. I picked him last year as champ this year.
I'm pissing Jared off for reasons, but anyways, though, if he wins I'm bragging about it again, Jared. Go ahead.
I'm just mad that you're underwater. Your opinions are yours, and I have to respect you for those because we created this platform. I need you to stop acting like SpongeBob and come up for air, please.
Get the fucking show, please.
I had something else to say. I had something else I wanted to say. I wanted to end the show as well. I didn't want to end the show. I had something else to say for a show. Yeah, like I wanted to touch on as well, as it was alluded to earlier in the show, certain pre-race festivities. I mean, this might be the one, fellas. This might be the one that gets us canceled. I ain't gonna lie to you. This might be the one that gets us, we might not get no more press passes after this, Jared. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, this might get us on the blacklist. This might be the series finale.
Let's go. Let's send it. Blaze of glory, baby.
Like, you listen, like, look, if you listen to this show, you know how we are, and you know what, I just gotta keep it real with y'all. Like, I can't just pretend like I did not see and hear what I saw and heard before Sunday's race. So I'll just be honest. For context, Riley Gaines, not Lincoln Riley Payton. The woman's name is Riley Gaines. If y'all don't know who she is, she's a 3-bit swimmer who finished 5th place in a race and decided that it was every trans athlete's fault that she finished in 5th place. Made her life's mission to try to ruin the lives of trans women and trans athletes. Quite simply, I'm tired of the idea that if we want to keep sports and politics separate until it's the politics we like. NASCAR made a really big push to say that NASCAR is this open and accepting place where families and children and all of everyone and the YASCAR shirt came out and all of this, and I know you're a corporation and you're a dirty fucking liar, but you can't lean that hard into it and then expect people to stick around for it. And I think it's really, really reprehensible to have someone, and you had to know what she was going to say. Anyone who sits there and says, oh, well, we didn't know what she was going to say, or that she was going to praise the president and this or that, you're either an idiot or you're lying. And either way, you should not be in charge of making these decisions. So whoever was the person who decided, or the people that decided to have her up there, either way, you should not be in that position. Even from a corporate standpoint of, even if you are a bunch of right-wing people in the boardroom, this is the kind of shit that affects your bottom dollar. Never mind the moral side of it, which should be the more important thing, have empathy for fellow human beings that are trying to live their lives. But fuck all that shit. Never mind the fact that it hurts your money. It makes you look bad. All those new fans you tried to get. Remember how much money y'all put into the Clash in LA and Chicago and all that shit? Well, those aren't the reddest of areas. I'll put it to you that way. So you're really undermining a lot of that work, because that Chicago shit looked expensive. It looked real expensive. So I think it's really disgusting. I think anyone who wants to look in the news, you can see how many and how often young women that are trans, young men that are trans are getting murdered, that they're ending their own lives because of abuse and hatred that they get online and in their communities. It's a serious thing. I don't care if you think that that's woke. I don't care if you think you're trying to trigger the libs. I don't really give a shit about none of that. The fact is, these are human beings, and I just am of the belief that if you're not hurting anyone else, you should be able to live the life that you want to. And so for the sport that claims to be open and welcoming and loving, to have this person who her only claim to fame is that she had a bitch fest because she lost and finished 5th place, and lost to one trans woman and 3 other women, it's really gross. It's really, really gross. I'm really disgusted by it. When Trump came and all right, I'm gonna keep going. When Trump came and the broadcast slobbered all over him and Clint Boy Hook, yup, go for America, yup, whatever. Whatever, that's fine. I can, as much as I hate it, I can at least see the idea that the title of president is so big that you can't say no. You can't say no to the president, right? It's such a big deal. Whatever. Sure. If you want to sell me that, I'll at least accept it, because then it gets on. But this person is only known for one thing, and it's being a sack of shit. So I'm just really disgusted by that choice. I know they're in Texas, and Texas doesn't have the best decision making when it comes to human rights, but I just like to see the sport do better. And so I just had to take some time to get that off my chest. I just think it's gross. I think it's disgusting. I think it really makes me think long and hard about coming back and watching your product and spending money on your product. And God knows I've spent a lot of fucking money on your product, NASCAR. So I would just love to see them do better. But I'm really disgusted by that. So yeah, that's all I had to say.
And this is why you're my brother, bro. I'm here. Like going on what you were saying, NASCAR, you got one last fucking time to do some stupid like this, and I'm done. I'm so fucking serious. I'm so done. I don't want to see no political bullshit. People, I don't want to see it in NASCAR no more. I don't want to see it. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm sorry I'm cursing so much. This is really just pissing me off. I want to watch racing. I don't care about none of that. Let me watch racing. I don't care.
You guys are going to be so mad when Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk are doing the start your engines in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's happening, but it probably will. So, yeah.
If it does, I'll retire.
I mean, Homestead's coming up. So in this timeline that we live in, nothing's impossible.
Yep.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think there's anything left to say. The mic has been dropped. We'll see y'all after Phoenix. Play my music.
Bye.
We out.
Yeah.